Imagine a live TV moment so explosive that it brings one of America's most beloved stars to her breaking point. That's exactly what happened when Kelly Clarkson sat across from Miranda Lambert, and within minutes, the entire interview collapsed into tension, harsh words, and a moment no one saw coming. Today, we're breaking down the confrontation that shocked Hollywood, and the emotional decision that led Kelly Clarkson to walk away from her own show. Asterisk, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's dive into what really happened. Asterisk, chaos. Pure, jaw-dropping chaos. That's the only way to describe the unbelievable moment that unfolded on Kelly Clarkson's show, a moment so unexpected, so tense, and so out of character for daytime TV that the audience instantly knew they were witnessing something no one would forget. The day had started like any other episode. Fans entered the studio buzzing with excitement. The stage lights glowed, the band warmed up, and Kelly Clarkson, America's sweetheart and one of the kindest celebrities in Hollywood, walked out with her signature bright smile. She greeted the crowd, laughed, danced a little, and set the fun, positive tone she's known for, but that light, happy energy was about to transform into one of the most uncomfortable and shocking scenes ever aired on her show. The guest of the day was country megastar Miranda Lambert. The audience cheered loudly as she walked on stage. Miranda and Kelly are both beloved figures in music, and many expected the interview to be relaxed, friendly, and full of funny stories from the road. At first, everything seemed normal. Kelly welcomed Miranda warmly, complimented her new album, and even joked about how she wished she could pull off Miranda's iconic country fashion. Miranda responded politely, though she looked slightly tensing. Only a few audience members noticed at first. Then came the moment that changed everything. Kelly, known for her humor and friendly teasing, brought up one of Miranda's earlier hit songs. She laughed and said, "Girl, I still don't know how you wrote something that savage. You must have been real mad at somebody." The audience cracked up. It was a lighthearted joke, typical Kelly energy. But Miranda's reaction was anything but typical. She smiled, but only for a second. Her expression shifted. Her shoulders stiffened, and then, out of nowhere, she leaned forward and delivered a line that instantly sucked all the air out of the room. "Well, some of us don't need a whole team of writers to help us, Kelly." The audience gasped so loudly it echoed across the stage. For a split second, Kelly froze. Her smile dropped, her eyebrows lifted in shock, and the bright, cheerful atmosphere of the show instantly cracked like glass. She wasn't sure if Miranda was joking, throwing shade, or trying to embarrass her on live TV. But Miranda didn't laugh. She didn't smile. She didn't try to soften the remark. Instead, she sat back calmly, almost defiantly, like she wanted the moment to sting. And it did. The audience looked around at one another, unsure how to react. Even the band members behind Kelly exchanged confused glances. Producers behind the camera leaned in, trying to figure out if they needed to cut the segment early. Kelly took a breath, trying to process what just happened. She kept her composure. After all, she's been in the industry long enough to know how to handle uncomfortable moments. But her eyes said everything. She was hurt. She was surprised. And above all, she was trying to understand why a guest she respected had suddenly attacked her talent and career in front of millions. The energy in the studio changed instantly. Moments earlier, the room was filled with laughter and applause. Now, it felt tense, heavy, and awkward, like everyone was waiting to see what Kelly would do next. This wasn't friendly teasing. This wasn't playful banter. This was a direct insult, and one that struck at Kelly's identity as a musician, songwriter, and entertainer. And as the cameras kept rolling, everyone watching, from the audience inside the studio to viewers at home, could sense that this was only the beginning of a clash no one expected, and one that would escalate far beyond this single shocking moment. Trying to save the moment, trying to protect the energy of the show, Kelly forced an awkward laugh. The kind of laugh hosts use when something goes wrong on live TV, but they're hoping the audience won't notice.
Well, I mean, I do have writers, but
She didn't even get to finish the sentence. Before the words could fully leave her mouth, Miranda leaned in again and cut her off sharply. "Yeah, I know. Must be nice when everything is handed to you." The room froze. It wasn't just a tense moment, it was like someone had slammed the brakes on the entire show. The audience members, who moments earlier were smiling and cheering, now sat stiffly in their seats, eyes wide, mouths slightly open, unsure if they had just witnessed a joke or a full-blown attack. And it became clear, within seconds, this was not a joke. Kelly blinked slowly, visibly stunned. Her smile faded. Her eyes widened, then dropped to the floor for a second, as if she was deciding how to respond without letting her true emotions show. This wasn't teasing. This wasn't playful. This was personal, deeply personal. And everyone in the room felt it. For a moment, Kelly didn't say anything. She inhaled, then exhaled, steadying herself. She has always been known as one of Hollywood's kindest, most genuine stars, someone who avoids drama, stays humble, and treats everyone with respect. Being attacked on her own show, in front of her audience, was something she never expected. Finally, she lifted her head and said softly, but firmly, "I've worked hard for everything I have. I don't think anything has been handed to me." You could hear the hurt behind her voice, even though she tried to hide it. Miranda didn't back down. Instead, she shrugged with an attitude that felt dismissive, almost mocking. Then she muttered, just loud enough for Kelly's microphone to pick up, "If you say so." A wave of shock ran through the studio. The entire soundstage fell into dead silence. No laughing, no applause, not even nervous giggles, just silence. Behind the cameras, producers were panicking. They exchanged frantic looks, whispering into headsets, "What is happening? Do we cut to commercial? Do we steer the conversation somewhere else?" But they couldn't. The moment had already gone too far. Camera operators hesitated, unsure where to aim the lens. Should they focus on Kelly's face clearly wounded, or Miranda's cold and unbothered, or the audience frozen in collective disbelief? Everyone knew they were in the middle of a disaster unfolding in real time. Kelly shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Her body language said everything. Her shoulders slightly lifted, her hands clenched together, her eyes blinking faster than usual. She was hurt, embarrassed, and trying her absolute best not to let millions of viewers see it. This wasn't just an insult to her character. It wasn't just a rude comment. It was an attack on her entire identity as an artist. Kelly has always been open about working her way up from nothing, growing up with financial struggles, getting discovered on American Idol, fighting for her place in the music industry. She has earned every bit of success she has. To have someone, especially a fellow musician, suggest it was all handed to her was a slap in the face. The audience sensed it. The crew sensed it, and millions watching at home would soon sense it too. But as brutal as that moment was, what happened next would push things even further. It was the moment that truly shattered the show's atmosphere and set off a chain reaction nobody could have predicted. A moment that would change everything. Kelly took a slow, shaky breath, trying desperately to pull herself together. She forced a smile, one that didn't reach her eyes, and said, "Well, it looks like we're having one of those days." The audience let out a weak, nervous laugh, unsure how else to respond. But Kelly's voice cracked as she spoke, betraying the hurt sitting just beneath the surface. Her upbeat personality was slipping, and everyone watching could feel it. From the side of the stage, her co-host for the segment leaned in slightly and whispered just loud enough for Kelly to hear, "Do you want to take a break?" Kelly, ever the professional, shook her head. She didn't want to walk away from her own show. She didn't want viewers to see her rattled. She wanted to remain the strong, friendly, confident woman her audience adored. She tried to regain control of the moment, adjusting the stack of note cards in front of her, clearing her throat, and preparing to move forward with the interview. But Miranda wasn't done, not even close, as Kelly was about to speak. Miranda muttered under her breath quietly, but not quiet enough. Kelly's microphone picked it up clearly. "Some people just can't handle real artists." The words were soft, but the impact was explosive. Kelly froze. The band members' expressions dropped. Several audience members gasped out loud. It was a direct insult, a deliberate dig, and it cut deeper than anything Miranda had said so far. Kelly's eyes widened, and for a moment, she didn't move at all. She just stared ahead, as if her brain needed a few seconds to register that this was actually happening, that a guest on her own show had just belittled her on live television. She swallowed hard. Then she did something she had never done before. With a quiet, controlled voice, she said, "Excuse me," and she stood up, not angrily, not dramatically, just defeated. She turned and walked off the stage. The audience instantly burst into confused whispers. Some people covered their mouths in shock. Others looked at each other, shaking their heads. A few even reached out as if to call after her. Nobody knew what to do. Producers rushed into action. Within seconds, the screen abruptly cut to a commercial break, the kind of emergency break the show almost never used. The cheerful music that usually played during breaks didn't even start immediately. Instead, there was a brief moment of black screen, as if the production team couldn't switch fast enough. Those watching at home were left stunned, staring at their televisions, asking themselves, did Kelly Clarkson just walk off her own show? But what the audience didn't see, the part that happened away from the cameras, was even more intense. Backstage, Kelly stopped as soon as she was out of the camera's view. She placed a hand against the wall, trying to breathe. Crew members rushed toward her, some asking if she was okay, others apologizing for not stepping in sooner, and a few simply speechless at what they had just witnessed. Kelly wasn't crying, but she was visibly shaken. Her voice wavered as she told the nearest producer, "I can't do this. I'm not going back out there." Meanwhile, Miranda remained seated, on stage, arms crossed, looking annoyed rather than remorseful. Some audience members even booed when they noticed her expression. Producers quickly ushered her off stage as well, though the tension between her and the staff was obvious. Rumors later spread that Miranda snapped at one crew member who suggested she apologize. With Kelly gone, Miranda upset, and the audience buzzing with confusion. The entire studio had descended into a chaotic mess, and the drama was far from over. Backstage, the atmosphere was nothing short of explosive. Kelly Clarkson, usually the calm heart of her show, paced back and forth with her hands trembling. She was fighting back tears, trying to process what had just happened on live television. The weight of Miranda's words replayed in her mind again and again. Every insult, every jab, every moment she had tried to stay professional while being torn down in front of millions. Finally, she looked at the producers, people she trusted, people who had worked with her since day one, and said with a cracked voice, "She just insulted everything I've worked for. Everything. I'm not doing this." She wasn't yelling. She wasn't dramatic. She was deeply hurt, disappointed, and embarrassed. Anyone could see the pain in her face. Her crew knew this wasn't just about the interview, it was about her sense of self-worth. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the backstage area, Miranda Lambert was causing her own storm. Multiple crew members later claimed she was defensive, insisting loudly, "I did nothing wrong." Kelly's being sensitive. "I didn't say anything that wasn't true." She folded her arms, pacing in frustration, refusing to acknowledge how her comments had come across, or how deeply they had cut. Staff members gently tried to calm her, saying things like, "Miranda, maybe you should talk to Kelly. Maybe there was a misunderstanding. Maybe apologize just to smooth things over." But Miranda dismissed every suggestion with a wave of her hand. She kept repeating, "I'm not apologizing for being honest." Tension crackled in the air. Back on Kelly's side of the room, her closest team members huddled together, trying to figure out how to save the episode. Producers approached her cautiously, speaking softly, "Kelly, maybe we can restart the interview. Maybe you just finish the show with a short segment. People are watching. They're going to wonder what happened." But Kelly shook her head firmly, tears brimming again. "I'm done. I can't host like this. I'm not going back out there." For Kelly, who always showed up for her fans, even on her hardest days, this was a massive decision. It showed just how deeply wounded she felt. After several minutes of pleading, The producers realized there was no convincing her. Kelly needed space. She needed time. And she needed to step away, so they made the call. The head producer hurried out to the studio floor, where the audience sat waiting, whispering. Confused about the long commercial break, he took a deep breath, grabbed the microphone, and addressed the crowd. Due to unexpected circumstances, today's show will end here. Thank you for your understanding. The announcement ripped through the room like a shockwave. People gasped. Others covered their mouths. Some even stood up in disbelief. And then the calls began. We love you, Kelly. Kelly, we support you. Come back soon. Audience members were escorted out slowly, still buzzing with questions and theories. Many clutched their phones, ready to post the moment online the second they got outside. And that's exactly what happened. Within minutes, social media exploded. Clips from the interview, leaked audio from Kelly's mic, fan reactions from inside the studio, hashtags like #TeamKelly and #Miranda Lambert drama shot to the top of the trending list. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone wanted answers. But the biggest shock came an hour later. Kelly's representative released a short but powerful statement. Kelly Clarkson will be taking an indefinite break from the show. Hollywood insiders knew exactly what that meant. One word, quit. And just like that, the entertainment world erupted. Celebrities, fans, journalists, everyone dove into the story, calling it one of the most surprising and emotional talk show meltdowns in years. As soon as the episode ended abruptly, social media platforms erupted with reactions from fans, viewers, and even people who hadn't watched the show but had seen the clips spreading like wildfire. In less than an hour, hashtags like #StandWithKelly, #TeamKelly, and #RespectKelly Clarkson were trending across multiple countries. Fans were furious. They posted emotional messages, calling out Miranda's behavior and defending Kelly with all their hearts. Comments poured in by the thousands. Miranda crossed a line. No one talks to Kelly Clarkson like that, no one. Kelly deserves respect. She built her whole career from nothing. Team Kelly forever. Video edits of the clash spread rapidly, slow motion, zoomed in reactions. Microphone audio enhancements. Fans analyzed every second of the confrontation, like detectives solving a crime scene. And then the celebrities started speaking. One famous country singer tweeted, Kelly Clarkson is one of the hardest working artists in music. No one gets to diminish that. That comment alone had millions of likes in a few hours. A Hollywood actor added, if a guest comes on someone's show, they should show respect, period. Kelly handled that better than most people ever could. Producers from rival talk shows even chimed in anonymously. One insider claimed, Miranda has a reputation for being difficult behind the scenes. None of this surprises me. Another said, Kelly is loved everywhere she goes. If she walked off, it means she was pushed too far. Meanwhile, Miranda Lambert's team scrambled to control the damage as the anger grew louder. Within hours, they released a carefully worded statement saying her comments were misinterpreted, insisting she meant no disrespect, and emphasizing that she loves and respects Kelly, but the internet wasn't buying it. Fans flooded Miranda's comment sections, demanding an apology, some polite, some furious, some downright relentless. Others pointed out that Miranda's tone, expressions, and attitude on the show made her intentions clear. As the storm raged online, people waited anxiously for Kelly's own response, and then she finally posted. It wasn't long. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't angry. Just a short, heartfelt message. I need time to breathe. Thank you for understanding. Those few words hit harder than a long statement ever could. Fans immediately rallied behind her, sending love, support, and encouragement from all around the world. Kelly's calmness contrasted sharply with Miranda's defensive tone, and that difference only intensified the public's sympathy for her. Hollywood insiders began whispering, will Kelly return? Will she cancel the next few episodes? Will she take months off? Or was this her way of stepping away from the show entirely? Some entertainment journalists claimed that Kelly had been overworked for months, and that this incident might push her to reconsider her future in daytime TV. Others speculated she might shift back into music full-time, or take a long break from the spotlight. A few sources even suggested major network executives were in emergency meetings, discussing how to handle the backlash and whether to issue a network-level apology. Fans debated endlessly. Kelly should come back stronger than ever. No, she needs a break. She should never invite Miranda again. Maybe it's time for a whole new direction. But one thing was absolutely clear. This wasn't just another celebrity disagreement. This wasn't just a bad interview. This was one of the most shocking, emotional, and unforgettable live TV clashes in recent memory, one that forced a beloved star to walk away from her own show and stirred the entire entertainment industry. The drama rippled across Hollywood like an earthquake, leaving everyone waiting for the next move. Because while this chapter may have ended, one thing is certain: the story isn't over yet.